Welcome back to Speller Tutorial Services. In today's video, we're going to factor by grouping. We're going to factor a quadratic equation by grouping, and in this video, we're going to do that for an equation that has a x squared term that has a coefficient greater than 1. All right, we begin by figuring out what this magic number is, and that's by multiplying the x squared coefficient, which is 2, times the constant at the end, which is -6. So here my magic number here is -12. Now I need to list the factors of -12, which could be 1 and 12. I'm sorry, 1 and -12, -1 positive 12, 2 and a -6, a -2 and a positive 6, a 3 and a -4, a -3 and a positive 4. And then I stop at this. I stop here because I've got repeats. Now I'm looking to see which two factors add up to give me a positive 1. Well, 1 minus 12 gives me a -11, so that's a no-go. -1 plus 12 to give me a positive 11. Again, that's a no-go. 2 minus 6 to give me a -4. -2 plus 6 to give me a positive 4. 3 minus 4 to give me a -1. And a -3 plus 4 to give me a positive 1, and that would be the one that I need because my middle term here has a 1 as a coefficient. Next thing I do is I keep my first term, which is 2x squared, and I keep my last term, which is a -6. Now, knowing that I need to use the -3 and the positive 4, I ask myself, what is the better match for this coefficient here of 2 so that I can factor, or which of these numbers have a common factor. In this case, I'm going to match up this 2x squared with this 4. So I'm going to place here a 4x and then minus 3x. And again, I need to reiterate, when I add these two middle terms, 4x minus 3x, I end up with a positive 1x. So all I did was restate this top equation in a different form. So nothing has changed. I'm just showing the same thing a different way. Now I need to group the first two terms and the second two terms. When I group the first two terms, I end up with 2x squared plus 4. And now when I group the second two terms, I need to make sure that this negative stays with the 3. So I'm going to add a plus sign here, minus 3x minus 6 equals 0. Now I need to do some basic factoring where I'm trying to find the greatest common factor. The GCF for these two terms is 2x. When I factor out a 2x, I'm left with an x plus 2. And for these second two terms, I see the GCF is a -3. And when I factor out a -3, I'm going to end up with an x plus 2. And notice how when I factor out the negative, the signs change for each one of these terms. Now at this point, I've got an x plus 2 as a GCF for both of these terms, so I'm going to factor that out. On the first term, I'm left with a 2x. And for my second term, I'm left with a -3. And again, I set both of these factors equal to 0, because if either one is 0, that makes the entire equation 0, and that's what I'm looking for. So I'll continue here. X plus 2 equals 0, and 2x minus 3 equals 0. Going to end up subtracting 2 from both sides. Here, these 2's cancel, and I end up with x being a -2. So that there is one solution. And for the other side, to get this 2x by itself, I need to add 3 to both sides. And in doing that, those 3's cancel. I'm left with 2x is equal to 3. I'm going to end up dividing both sides here by 2. Those 2's cancel. And I see that x comes out to be 3/2 or 1.5. Alright, so this here are my two solutions that I came to by using factoring by grouping. And like I said, in this example, it's a little more complicated because my coefficient here is a 2. Alright, that sums it up for another video by Speller Tutorial Services. Please friend us on Facebook and also subscribe to our YouTube channel, both found under the same name. And as always, thanks again for watching.